Good morning, everyone. Myself, Dr. Surbhi Singh, Department of Physiology, Government Medical College, Betia. In the last lecture, we have discussed about the classification of nerve fibers, and today we are going to learn about the properties of nerve fibers. Of nerve fibers are essentially similar to the properties of action potential generated in any excitable tissue. And the properties are excitability, conductivity, all or none law, refractory period, accommodation, infatigability, and summation. Starting with excitability. Excitability is the property of nerve fiber by virtue of which it responds by generating a nerve signal or action potential when it is stimulated by a suitable stimulus, and the stimulus may be mechanical, thermal, chemical, or electrical. Now, what are the factors which affect excitability? Hypercalcemia or high extracellular calcium concentration decreases membrane permeability to sodium ions and thereby decreases the membrane excitability. The local anesthetics like procaine, tetracaine, and lidocaine blocks the sodium channels, thus reduces the membrane excitability. And the hypocalcemia or low concentration of extracellular calcium increases the excitability of nerve fiber by decreasing amount of depolarization required for opening of voltage gated sodium channel. Now coming to the second property, that is conductivity. Conductivity is the ability of propagating the electrical impulse in the form of a wave of depolarization through the nerve fiber, and the action potential generated at one location on the excitable cells act as a stimulus for the production of an action potential in the adjacent region of the membrane. In myelinated nerve fibers, myelin sheath act as an insulator and it does not allow the current flow. Therefore, in myelinated nerve fiber, the local circuit of current flow only occurs through the one node of Ranvier to the adjacent node of Ranvier, and the action potential jump from one node of Ranvier to another node of Ranvier. This is known as jumping or saltatory conduction, and the speed of conduction in myelinated nerve fiber is rapid or roughly 50 to 100 times faster than unmyelinated nerve fiber, and the myelinated fibers requires less energy in the form of ATP. There are various types of conduction. First one is orthodromic conduction. Normally, the action potential is propagated in one direction, and the nerve impulse from the receptors or synaptic junctions travel along the entire length of axon to their termination, and this type of conduction is called as orthodromic conduction. On the other hand, in sensory nerve supplying the blood vessels, the conduction of nerve impulse is in opposite direction, and that type of conduction is known as antidromic conduction. So, coming to factors affecting conduction velocity. The first one is temperature. A decrease in temperature delays the conduction, that is, slows down the conduction velocity. The second one is axon diameter. Axon diameter affects the conduction velocity through the resistance which was offered by the axoplasm to the flow of exoplasmic current. And if the diameter of the axon is greater than the resistance, and hence the velocity of conduction is higher. The next one is myelination. Myelination increases conduction velocity by its following effect, that is by increasing the axon diameter and by saltatory conduction due to its insulating effect. The third property is all or none law. A single nerve fiber always obeys all or none law. All or none law states that when a nerve is stimulated by a stimulus, it gives maximum response or does not give any response at all. This all or none relationship between the stimulus and the response is known as all or none. The fourth property is refractory period. If two successive stimuli of more than threshold stimulus intensity are applied to a nerve, the nerve is unable to respond to the second stimulus for quite some time. That is, the nerve has become refractory or non-responsive to the subsequent stimulation. So the length of time it remains refractory to the second stimulus is called as refractory period, and they are of two types. The first one is absolute refractory period. It is a short period following action potential during which the second stimulus, no matter how strong the stimulus may be, it cannot evoke any response. And the absolute refractory period corresponds to the period of action potential from the firing level until repolarization is almost 1/3 complete. The second one is relative refractive period. It is a short period during which the nerve fiber shows response if the strength of stimulus is more than the normal, and it extends from the end of the absolute refractive period to the start of after depolarization of the action potential. The next property is accommodation. It is also known as adaptation. When a stimulus of sufficient strength is applied quickly, then the action potential is produced. However, when the stimulus strength is increased slowly to the firing level during constant application, the no action potential is produced. And this phenomena of adaptation to the stimuli is known as accommodation. The next property is infatigability. A nerve fiber can't be fatigued even if it is stimulated continuously for a long time. The reason behind this is that the nerve fiber can conduct only one action potential at a time, and at that time it is completely refractory and does not conduct another action potential. The last property is summation. When one subminimal stimulus is applied, it does not produce any response in the nerve fiber because the subliminal stimulus is very weak. If two or more subliminal stimuli are applied within a short interval of about 0.5 millisecond, the response is produced. And it is because the subliminal stimuli are summed up together to become strong to produce the response. And this phenomena is known as summation. Thank you. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the degeneration and regeneration in the peripheral nerve.